What's going on YouTube? I am back with another update. This time it's on SCHD. I've been investing in this fund for 240 days. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over how my investment has performed over the last 240 days. A couple of weeks ago, I uploaded a video giving you guys an update on my investment in VOO. And during that video, I mentioned that these are some of my most favorite videos to make because it shows you guys the progression from starting at zero and slowly building wealth over a long period of time. If you are not investing in the stock market, you're missing out on an opportunity to start adding to your net worth. Because let's face it, 5, 10, 15, or even 20 years are gonna pass by, and you're gonna be looking back at this time where you watch this video. And maybe you're casually watching, maybe you've watched some of my previous videos, but you're gonna think back to a time where you were watching a video when the guy that's on the screen that you're watching right now told you that time was gonna pass anyway. So why not build wealth as time goes by? And the way that we're doing it for this particular portfolio is we're putting it on easy mode. We're on invest and in chill mode. That's how we're approaching this. So as we head to the end of 2025, make a plan, make a promise to yourself that the rest of 2025 is gonna be different so you could set yourself up for success in 2026 and beyond. I wanna be here making videos just like this in the next 5 or 10 years and looking back at where I started and where I'm currently at on my investing journey. And I hope that many of you will join me and you'll be there being able to do the same thing. Now, I was a little late to the SCHD party. It is definitely a fund that I had my eye on, but I wasn't investing in it until I added it to this portfolio. And at the time that I added, SCHD had recently went through a stock split. So I knew at that point in time, I was gonna be able to invest in a dividend paying index fund, and I was gonna be able to actually purchase shares of that fund at a lower price because the stock split had already occurred. So I was ready to actually add this to my portfolio, and I knew that over a long period of time, if I continue to invest in this particular fund, that I would be able to start seeing the fruits of my labor through dividends. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at how my investment has performed over the last 240 days. All right, so right now we are taking a look at my investment in SCHD. And if you take a look to the top left corner of my screen right here, you'll see that my open P&L, so this is the amount of money that I've either made or lost in over 240 days, is I've actually lost $27.23, and my account is down 1.11%. Now, a lot of people will see that and be like, man, you wasted your time investing in SCHD. You haven't really made any money and you're actually red. So you wasted your time by investing in this particular fund, but I don't view it that way. Remember, I'm not looking at this as a short-term investment. Now, 240 days is a long period of time, but that's not long-term. When I think of long-term, I'm thinking 10 plus years. That's long-term to me, and that's how long I plan to hold on to this investment unless something drastic changes, like there is a liquidation of this fund, or there's just a complete shift in the focus of the actual companies that they're investing in this fund. Otherwise, I'm in this for the long haul, 10 plus years. Now, if you look to the right of that, you'll see that my daily P&L, I'm up $17.02 or 0.71%. I have a total market value of $2,425.30. And I have a total cost. So my total cost of my investment in this fund is $2,452.53. And I have an average price of $27.27. And I have a quantity of 89.926 shares of SCHD. So I'm closing in on 100 shares in just under 1 year of investing $10 every day into this investment. 2 years from now, I should be over 200 shares, especially after dividends kick in. And of course, I'll be going over that a little bit later in the video. And then if you take a look at the position ratio, 34.22%, that's the amount that this index fund makes up in my portfolio. I have 2 other positions. I also do updates on how those are performing as well. If you haven't had an opportunity to check those out, I'll link those down in the description below. And the last price that I was able to purchase SCHD at was $26.97. All right, on this screen right here, I really just wanted to show you how consistent I have been in investing in SCHD. I have it set up on autopilot, so every single day Webull is going in, it's purchasing $10 of SCHD. I'm only doing this on days when the market is open, so Monday through Friday, unless there's a holiday and the market is closed. I'm not making up those days on the weekends, and I'm not even worried about it. So when I say it's been 240 days, it's 240 trading days. And if you take a look here, you'll see that every single day it's showing $10. So as of 10/20 of 2025, I was able to get filled at $26.96, and it was $10. And if you go down the list here, and I won't read each one of these to you, but you'll see the different amount that I was able to average into SCHD with just $10. And then if you take a look to the furthest column to the right, you'll see that it looks like Webull goes in and they make this auto purchase for you between 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So every single day around that time, Webull's going to go in and it's going to purchase $10 of SCHD at whatever price it is at that particular time. And that represents the fill price that you see in the middle column there. So when I talk about invest and chill, that's what I'm talking about. I've got my account set up to where it's going in every single day. It's purchasing the same amount of that particular investment. And in this case, it's SCHD. And again, I don't have to do anything. So I call that invest and chill. All right, on this screen right here, we're taking a look at SCHD as a whole. We have a 52-week high of $28.62, and we have a 52-week low of $23.41. Now, like I had previously mentioned, SCHD has been trading in a pretty slim zone. So it's right around $5 that it's been trading to the upside and to the downside over the last 52 weeks. So I'm not too concerned about being down overall in this investment, because that zone that it's been trading in, eventually it's going to equal out and average out. And it may take a while for my investment to move to the upside. But again, we're in this for the long haul, 10 plus years, and I'm not worried about that at this time. And as you can see, as filming of this video, SCHD is trading at $26.98. I actually hope that it goes back down to $23.41, because then I get to purchase more shares of SCHD at a discounted price. And here's the kicker for this, right? This is a dividend paying index fund. So whether the fund is $28 or $23, my dividend is remaining the same. All right, right here, we're just gonna flip over to a monthly candlestick chart for SCHD. Each one of these candlesticks represents 1 month of movement in this position in the stock market. And as you can see, it's been fairly consistent across the board. We've had some pullbacks, and every single time it's pulled back, it has recovered rather nicely. Now, again, I'm not too worried about where this price is going. I'm just going to continue to invest and chill, but I just wanted to show you visually how SCHD has been trading since August 31st of last year. And the reason that I said August 31st of last year is because that's just where it stops on the chart here. So no significance to that. All right, now let's take a look at what the analysts are saying about SCHD. So we have a short-term analysis, a medium-term, and a long-term analysis. And I'll just quickly jump through each one of these. On the short-term analysis, there's bearish signals. So the analysts think that we're gonna see more movement to the downside in the short term. We'll go ahead and flip over to the medium term, and it's the same sentiment here. Weak bearish signal. A lot of the analysts out there think that we're going to be pulling back in the medium term in SCHD. And then we'll take a look at the long term, and it's even more bearish for the long-term analysis. Now, I mentioned this before, that I don't take what the analysts say either on this app or on CNBC or whatever investing channel or news article that I'm reading. I use them as data points to help me to make informed decisions on what I'm going to be investing in. So for example, the analysts say that SCHD has bearish signals. that's completely fine with me. I've done my due diligence and my own analysis on SCHD, and I know that that's something that I want to invest in for the long term until something significant happens that makes me reevaluate my investment in this fund and move it over into something else. So just because the analysts say that it's bearish in this particular fund for the short, medium, long term doesn't mean that I'm going to be changing my overall investment strategy when it comes to this fund. All right, now we'll take a look at the performance of SCHD since its inception. Now, again, I'm not going to read each one of these, so I'll start at the 5-year mark. And over the past 5 years, we've seen a 63.14% return on your investment with SCHD. Over 3 years, it's 30.04%. 1 year, it's actually down 3.41%. Over the last 6 months, it's up 7.42%. The last 3 months, it's down 0.42%. And over the last month, it is down 1.58%. So that is the performance of SCHD since its inception. And then, of course, we talked about over the last 5 years. Again, this is just another data point that highlights and shows how this fund is performing. All right, now let's take a look at the total dividends that I have received since I've been investing in SCHD. I have received a total of $47.56 in dividends since I started investing in this fund, and I've received 4 total dividend payouts. So the very first dividend payout that I received was for $2.42, and that was back on December 17th of 2024. Now, the second dividend payout that I received was $8.56, and that was on March 31st of 2025. The third dividend payout that I received was for $15.20, and that was on June 30th of 2025. And then I also received a dividend payout on September 30th of 2025 in the amount of $21.38. So as you can see, the dividend payout that I am receiving for this investment continues to increase as the number of shares that I have of SCHD increase. So if the price of this fund goes down to $20, $21, $22, I'm still going to be receiving a dividend payout. And the best part of this is these dividends are being reinvested right back into my position. So at this point in time, I'm extremely close to having my dividend payout actually buy an additional share of this investment. And that's my expectation. The next dividend payout that comes out will be enough money to actually purchase 1 full share of SCHD. All right, so that's how my investment in SCHD has performed over the last 240 days. Some people will take a look at my account being down overall as a red flag, but I don't, because I have a longer term view and a strategy of what I'm trying to achieve with this investment. And then I also take a look at some of the top holdings that are in this fund, and I'll pull that up here, and I won't go through each one of these, but you've got AbbVie, Amgen, Cisco, Merck & Company, Coca-Cola, Verizon. These are all staples in the US economy. And as long as SCHD is investing in these companies that have a long history of paying out a dividend, I'm locked into this fund. So if you take into account the dividends that I've received, I'm actually ahead in my account. So I may be down in my total investment, but the dividends that I have received actually flips my return into the green. I'm going to be starting a brand new $5 a day investment challenge starting in January 1st of 2026. I want to do $5 because I think it will give many more people an opportunity to jump into the investment challenge so they can get on their way to start building long-term wealth. I've narrowed down the list of funds that I'm looking at to invest $5 a day in starting in January of 2026, but leave a comment down below and let me know what are some of the funds that you think that I should research for the next ETF that I add to this index fund. If you got some value from this video, consider subscribing, and while you're at it, hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.